Welcome back to Made in Northern New York. Our next story is all about romance.
Yeah, so we stopped up at Summit Village just outside Watertown a little bit, and we met a couple, the Allens, who have been married for 67 years. They argue that it's 68, 67, but you have to see the story and check them out. They're absolutely adorable.
And they give you some wisdom on how to have a healthy, long relationship.
Check it out.
Can you tell us how long you've been married and where you met and what your story is?
Well, we have been married for 67 years. We were debating that this morning. I said 68, she says it's 67, but we've been married for a long time. And we met, we were both at a nursing school in Belfast, at the Belfast City Hospital. And of course there's zillions of nurses there. Not so many male nurses, medical students, yes. So there was a lot for the male nurses to choose from. One evening, we had to work. Even though we were students, we had to do so many hours to pay for our tuition. And there was a lecture one evening, and I had to go to it. And I was walking up the sidewalk towards the auditorium, and I saw this little girl in front of me. And I thought I knew her. And then I realized, you know, she looks very cute, you know, I should talk to her. So I called her, I said, "Nurse," and she turned around, and it was Nurse Calvert, this one here. So she stopped and waited for me to catch up with her, and we headed for the lecture hall. After it was all over, I went looking for her and found her. I said, "Would you like to go down to the Step-Aside?" Step-Aside was a little place where we hung out, you know. And before we left, we agreed to meet again. And that was the beginning of the beginning.
And what was your first impression of him?
Well, my sister Avril was an RN at that time, and she was in the same hospital. So she called me one day and she said, "Margaret, I've got the perfect man for you." And I said, "Well, if he's that perfect, just take him for yourself." And she says, "I can't because I'm too old for him." She told me who he was. And then I met him and I thought, well, he's not bad, you know. So it just went from one thing to another, and then he invited me out. The first night we went out, it was pouring rain, and we just went for a walk. And we came back, and just as we stood in a shop door, and he leaned over and he kissed me on the cheek. Oh. You see, just like that. My sister sent this to me years ago. Kissed me right on the cheek, and I thought, boy, what a nerve, you know. So that was the beginning of the romance.
And what is your favorite thing about him?
My favorite thing, well, I have to tell you, he has great knowledge about the Bible. He used to preach, and he taught Bible studies, as I did too. And that's my favorite thing about him.
And what about you? What's your favorite thing about her?
Her sense of humor, her upbeat style, and she'll, you know, it doesn't mean that she's a pushover. I mean, she'll stand for herself, but she comes back with love afterwards, you know.
Wow, what a true love story. That's all those decades from Belfast, Ireland to Northern New York. Just a great, great romantic story.
And they had lots of great advice too.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for more Made in Northern New York after the break.
Welcome back to Made in Northern New York Valentine's Edition. We covered some great stories about matters of the heart tonight.
Absolutely.
And the great part is you can use them obviously for February, for Heart Health, or for Valentine's Day, but the stories we heard, you can use that all throughout the year and all throughout your life.
And you can be sure to check out Children's Miracle Network and the American Heart Association by following their websites.
And stay tuned for next month's Made in Northern New York episode all about St. Patrick's Day. I know it's a personal favorite of mine for a holiday.
It's my number one.
Why is that?
McCluskey. Can't get much more Irish.
Right.
I expect gifts, by the way, not from you, but I expect
Come
gifts
on!
for that.
I got you,
I
Matt.
am a great gift giver.
That Christmas special,
Just,
not so much.
yeah, roll the Christmas special. Well, thank you so much to everybody for watching. Have an awesome night.
Happy Valentine's Day.